Hola clase, ¿cómo están ustedes? Pues como yo les prometí el jueves, ah, hice este video para recuperar el tiempo que perdimos por, bueno, un montón de razones el jueves. Pero bueno, yo voy a hablar medio inglés, half Spanish. So I'll be mixing un poco de español e inglés. I'll just be weaving in and out of both languages in this video. No tengo transcrito, no tengo guión. I don't have a script, neither a transcript. I'm just making this just as impromptu because it's important that we get all the information that we need. Of course, this is review, so that is the, I guess, solace there. So, ¿qué íbamos? What were we going to? ¿Qué íbamos a repasar o hacer jueves el 30 de septiembre? Pues íbamos a hablar de los demostrativos, los adjetivos demostrativos y los pronombres demostrativos. No hay mucha diferencia. I can put it in one sentence. Demonstrative adjectives have nouns after them. Demonstrative pronouns stand alone. They do not have nouns after them. Quick example, este carro, this car. Este, this one. Yeah, the first one is a demonstrative adjective, este carro, este. And then the second one, este, is just saying this one, it stands alone. Remember, pronouns, they replace nouns, right? They completely replace them. Just like we did with the directed and indirect objects, they completely replace them. También vamos a hablar de los interrogativos. Es un repaso. Cómo, quién, por qué, cuál, cuánto, cuántas, dónde, por qué, qué. So you know these. It's just a matter of using them con más frecuencia, using them with more frequency, right? Y claro, yo quiero recordarles sobre la lectura, la conversación que necesitan hacer con sus parejas. I think I swapped your partners. Now, if you weren't in class, I did swap partners, and hopefully you can remember those. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I have a 50-50 chance of getting it right, I think. Y la discusión, which is individual. The discussion is individual. So, siempre es bueno repasar las vocales A, E, I, O, U. Necesitan hacer una sonrisa, sea de verdad o una sonrisa falsa. Deben hacer una sonrisa para pronunciar bien la letra I. I think that E and A are the ones that trip you up if you're a native English speaker. Maybe even non-native speakers. I think we really have to pronounce these, have to kind of stress them. E and E. Yeah, they're kind of tricky there. O and U are pretty easy, yeah. Okay. Pues there I am talking. And so, ¿cuáles son las metas para esta unidad? So we've gone through almost all of the unidad. We have what left? We have los demostrativos y los interrogativos. Those are the major things. También tenemos expresiones idiomáticas and exclamaciones, and we will weave those in also. If we don't get to them in this video, we'll look at them en clase en martes. Okay, so los demostrativos. So we have both demonstrative adjectives and demonstrative pronouns. The ones that are called adjectives describe nouns, right? They're added on, adjectives. And so you'll see a noun after them. For ejemplo, we don't have one in this particular slide, but you would see in English, this house. That makes it a demonstrative adjective. These houses, that house, those houses. If the word house or houses is afterwards, then the demonstrative is an adjective. If it's just standing alone, then it's a pronoun. Remember, los pronombres reemplazan los sustantivos. Pronouns replace nouns. So, en español tenemos estas formas según género. We have these forms according to gender, right? So for every this, there's two. For every these, there's two. For every that, there's two. For every those, there's two, right? So exponentially multiplies. Este carro, esta casa. Estos carros, estas casas. Right? To become four there. Esa casa or ese carro, esa casa. Esos carros, esas casas. I'm just using cars and houses for the sake of being common and something that we all are familiar with. Aquel carro, that car way over there. Aquella casa, that house way over there. Aquellos carros, aquellas casas. We can do this with other nouns. Aquel hombre, aquella mujer, that man way over there, that woman way over there. Aquellos hombres, aquellas mujeres. We take the word hombre or hombres and mujer, mujeres away, and then they're just pronouns. Of course, when can you use pronouns? You use pronouns when you've established what you're talking about. You wouldn't start a conversation with, I mean, you could start a conversation with, ¿conoces a él? Do you know him? I mean, it kind of sounds like like a religious kind of approach or something, but ¿conoces a él? Do you know him? You would probably establish who he is. Pues, ¿quién es él? ¿De quién hablas? Who are you talking about? Joseph, my brother. Do you know him? He said he knows you. So you want to establish that it's Joseph first, of course. Here's another example of an adjective. Esta medicina es para usted. If you take medicina away, then it's a pronoun. These are just simply ways of describing in order for people to better understand what someone else is talking about. There are points of referencia, puntos de referencia. So we've gone through the singular, las formas singulares, y las formas plurales. Something that's pretty tricky is the following. Well, this is presenting the closest one first, the one that's a little bit of a distance, and then the one that's way over there. Yeah, same for the plural forms. Este is going to be closer. If I'm going to say, este perro es muy alto. This dog is very tall. Probably the people next to me, they're going to know what dog I'm talking about because they're probably close to the dog too, if the dog is anywhere in close proximity. Ese perro, yeah, it could be some distance, but we don't know exactly how far. It's probably not so far that other people can't see it, but aquel, it may be that the person next to you doesn't see it. So it depends on your punto de referencia. If you took clase con Professor Gert, this is probably jogging your memory, hopefully so. But notice the tricky thing I was going to get to is the forma masculino, or la forma masculina, I should say, it's not o in the singular. It's not esto. That's a neuter or neutral form. When you don't know whether it's male or female, you say esto. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es eso? Este is and ese, those are the masculine forms. So you have to kind of remember those. And in the plural forms, it does change to an O. So, un otro ejemplo. Amigos, entramos aquí por esta puerta. Everybody's probably close to that door, right? And this says try when it's already done for you. Qué bonita. Blank clínica tiene de todo. You could say, no, this is not necessarily right. I mean, it just depends how close Roberto is to the clínica. Great. Roberto basically says, great, this clinic has everything. Esta clínica tiene de todo. You could say, esa clínica, that clinic has everything. Aquel clínica tiene de todo. If you were to say, or aquella clínica tiene de todo. I'm going a little too fast, sorry. I'm concerned my 3-year-old is going to bust the door. So I'm a little bit distracted. Lo siento. So he could say aquella clínica, and it could refer to un tiempo lejano, a distant time. So these demonstratives can refer not only to distance of an object, but they can refer to distance of a time. En aquellos días todos viajaban por caballo. In those times, everyone traveled by horse, right? So it's an abstract time reference. ¿Quieres este antiácido o ese? Now, why did we not say ese antiácido? Because we know we're referring back to antiácido. And the person responds, this is like person A y persona B. Yo quiero ese, por favor. Prefiero ese, por favor. So once you repeat it, we're so impatient, right? And so we don't want to say it again. So we just say, ¿Quieres este antiácido o ese? And if we repeat the question, we could say, me preguntaste si quiero este o ese, right? You asked me if I want this one or that one. You don't have to say este antiácido o ese antiácido because it's already been established, right? So these are kind of redundant, so I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. This one, new to demonstrative pronouns, ¿qué es esto? Esto is usually presented as a pronoun because we don't know what the thing is. If we knew what it was, we would use the masculino or femenino, or la forma masculina o femenina. Por ejemplo, we wouldn't say, ¿qué es esto carro? We would go ahead and say, ¿qué es, or ¿de quién es este carro? We wouldn't say, ¿de quién es esto casa? It's even hard to say. You would say, ¿de quién es esta casa? Who does this house belong to? Right? Okay, so the same works with ese and aquel. ¿Quieres ese libro? No, quiero aquel. It's understood we're talking about libro, so we just leave it out. Okay, so I'm switching quickly to expresiones idiomáticas before we get into los interrogativos. Let me, I can't see the time on the screen I'm recording on. I better hurry. It's getting close to my son's bedtime. Okay, so expresiones idiomáticas. You can find these en las páginas 89 a 96 en el libro de texto ISG, Intermediate Spanish Grammar. So esta chica se llama Maria, and I think she does a good job. So I don't know how up she is on vosotros. That's kind of my gauge. It's like, do you know the vosotros form? But she does a good job. And they go through some expresiones útiles and their idiomatic expressions. And this is both in Espanol and English. So it kind of juxtaposes them. And I really like this video. So there's a lot of junk on YouTube and just the internet in general about language learning. And so I really like to pick and choose. I'm very particular about which ones I show to my students. So enjoy that one.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es María.
I told you her name is Maria. So this is Seth and Seth Myers, and he has lots of questions. Yeah, you probably know the answers to them. But it's a good idea to repasar los interrogativos. You can do this with Basho.
It's Basho and friends. Here we
Basho is the best.
Hola a todos, ¿listos para aprender algo nuevo?
Yeah, well, it's not nuevo para ustedes, but yeah, you want to go to those pages. Actually, those pages are wrong. These pages are correct. 97 a 103 en el libro de texto. I'm going to say them out loud so you can hear them. I mean, we read them a lot, so you can say them along with me. ¿A qué hora? ¿A dónde? ¿Cómo? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuáles? ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? ¿De dónde? ¿Dónde? ¿De quién? ¿Para quién? ¿O para qué? You could also say para quién. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué? ¿Quién? ¿Quiénes? So a reminder, they're very similar. ¿A dónde? ¿Dónde? ¿De dónde? It's all the same, right? And so quién, para, de quién, they're all similar. I think my screen is about to start jumping, so I'm going to actually move pretty fast here. Do go through these at your own pace and remind yourself of what these are. So they're really not that many, as you saw back in the previous screen. They're just derivatives of each other, right? So you do want to remember that que and como, they're not the same. When we ask, ¿cómo te llamas? Como is not what, it's how, right? That's something to be aware of. ¿Cuál and que, easily confused, but ¿cuál is which when you know what it is. Que is when you need to define. I'm going to go through these really quick. Do them on your own. Yeah, I meant to go through that quick so you can actually try to do them on your own. And this is what you need to do for between now and when we meet again. So necesitan comenzar a hacer los ejercicios. If you haven't done those for 8, go forward, and then 9, 10 y 11 también. Y deben comenzar a leer la segunda oportunidad en el libro de cuentos. I'm going to extend that due date a little bit. And la discusión, I'd really like for you all to have that done by the 5th, martes el 5. Y la segunda conversación, if you haven't gotten with your partner yet, I'm going to give you a little bit more time on that, unless you've already done it. So, muchas gracias por ver el video. So sorry we couldn't meet jueves. We kind of did, but we didn't. And so, hope to see you guys martes el 5. Hasta luego.